Okay, so Luciane is the program director at Adult Literacy University Settlement, and that's in New York City. She has been teaching in adult ESL for over 16 years, and her interests are in integrating technology and media arts to engage adult learners, promoting the adult education field, and using social media to advocate for sustainable literacy and education funding for nonprofit providers. And today she'll be introducing us to using Canva for educators. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. Thank you, Kelly, for that introduction. Hi, everyone. Like Kelly said, my name is Luciane Leung. I'm the program director at University Settlement Adult Literacy. My pronouns are she and her. And I think just to get us all started, I'd love a little introduction. So I love seeing that everyone's introducing themselves in the chat, your name, your organization, and your favorite thing about the month of May. And I feel like I can't ignore the weather. It's pretty warm up here in Westchester. And I can imagine it being no different where program is currently running in New York City. So 3:31, let's go ahead and get started. So don't worry if you haven't had a chance to introduce yourself in the chat. You can always go back and do that. And there'll be opportunities, especially if there's some time as we're demoing and getting our hands in there in Canva to connect with others. But I want for everyone to just draw their attention to the bottom bar on Zoom. I hope you can see like the reactions feature. It's a little smiley face with a plus sign. So I want to just kind of gather a bit of a knowledge of all of you. So if you see the reaction feature, I'd like for you to put a heart or a thumbs up or a clap for some light engagement. I want to know who here is someone who creates materials for their program, for their organization, or for their class. Go ahead and put a thumbs up, a heart. Yeah, Danielle, I see Kelly, Connie. How about as a program, do you create any other materials or for your organization? Okay, no, I see you. Great, so there's quite a few of us who already have some experience with creation of materials, for either our adult educators, our adult learners, or also to promote our program, so to potential funders. Has anyone here, has anyone used Canva before? And use the reactions again so I can kind of see a heart or a thumbs up. Who's used Canva before? I see Kelly has used Canva before. Oh, okay. I see. Actually, I now see there's reactions in the chat. This is new for me. All right, great. So Giovanni, Lauren, Andrea, Karen. Okay, so that's my next question. Who's completely new to Canva? Okay, Danielle, you're new to Canva, and I see Karen said she was new. Connie says you're new. Okay, well, welcome. Those who've used Canva, I think I'd like to hear, feel free to unmute your mic, and I'd like 2 to 3 people tell me, what have you used Canva for? Personally, professionally, your agency?
Hello. Can you hear me?
Hi, yes.
Okay. So I've used Canva to make like posters, flyers, writing prompts. I've actually made a video with Canva before. It took me a while, but I managed to get it.
Wow. Video. So I heard videos, flyers, worksheets for class. Is that what you said?
Flyers, posters. I've actually made like a raffle tickets, sort of. Because I have like a lot of templates to use, so I try my best to use as much as I can.
Great. Yeah. So we'll be covering some of that. And I can see in the chat, I also have it open. I see Lori say that she's created promotional materials too. So again, sounds like posters, flyers. Giovanni says, creating flyers for my van. So for personal use, I love it. Cynthia, I'm reading off the screen, but infographics, Instagram posts, flyers, slide decks, same here. Alicia or Alicia, and please forgive me. Feel free to correct me if I'm saying your name wrong.
Either way is fine.
Okay. So PowerPoint slides, that's funny. Yeah, that's what we're here for. I've created this entire presentation on Canva, and I forget that I'm no longer using PowerPoint, that I even called this folder abbreviated PP for PowerPoint, but I used it in Canva. Lauren, social media posts, presentation, flyer materials, and class. So it's great. I love that we're sharing this. So I'm going to show you my next slide, which is how I've used a few examples of how I've used Canva in my program. So we wanted to share our students' reviews and their testimonials and something eye-catching for potential new students. So as you can see here are student highlights. These are two recent Instagram posts that we made. Two of our students have been so kind to share with us their success stories, and we stayed in contact. And this is a format, I mean, this as a border tells you it's Instagram, but on Canva, you are able to create this visual and then cross-post it wherever you'd like. If it's Facebook or on a website. We also have our own student blog. And so these in some ways can be used interchangeably. So the format, even though this example is an example of how we promoted it on Instagram, I use these same visuals. It can be also on Facebook and our student blog. Secondly, you can see that I worked with NYACCE. This is our local coalition. We invest time to campaign for sustainable funding and increased funding of the adult education field. For NYACCE last month, actually late February, early March, we were trying to drum up a lot of interest and participation online, because for another year, we weren't going to be visiting our state elected officials in Albany. But what we could do is ask for our allies to participate on our social media advocacy campaign. So I created this flyer. It's something that represents the day, so that I can continually remind others that, I think it was for the 2 or 3 weeks leading up to the February 28th date, we posted how others can participate. So sharing using a hashtag literacy lifts, and then again, associating like a visual, an image to our efforts of the day. And I'd say that there was a lot of participation this year. Again, with it all being virtual, you can clearly see and have a record of how many of us there were. And here I want to highlight the cool thing about Canva that I've used over and over again was to make flyers. And I think a lot of us have said posters and flyers, promotional materials. This is one example. Let's see. So I created this base flyer. It's based on a template, and I customized it so that it was tailored to our program's schedule. Little things about my program, like it's a 10-month-long program, and we offer free textbooks and things like that. So I first, based on one of the templates that were already pre-made in Canva, I personalized it. So with this first copy, I made another copy for my staff members, my multilingual, talented staff members, to go in and help me translate it. So as you can see, I was able to, let's see, asked my Russian speaking staff member to go in with a copy of our English flyers, just replace my English with Russian. So we were able to reach our potential Russian speakers in New York City. We have it in Spanish, of course. And this is a great way. This is a digital copy. You can print it out. This is something that was shareable on WhatsApp for our students. We also have as a PDF so that we can share it internally between providers. I asked my Chinese staff members to also help me translate and go ahead and just replace my English with the Chinese translation. As you can see, I have Arabic. And lastly, Korean. So just with that one first copy, that free English class flyer, I made multiple copies, made that copy and sent that to my staff member, and they were able to go right back in. And I didn't have to do much tweaking and making sure everything fit perfectly and it matched the original template. So yeah, I want to ask, do you have any questions, Is, for some of what I've covered so far? I don't want to get too ahead of myself.
I have a question.
Yeah.
As far as when you were sharing the template with other people, I've had a difficulty in the past and accidentally deleted trying to save, but I deleted the flyer and it was a it was a PowerPoint or it was a slides program and I lost it, the whole thing.
No.
So how do you share with other people without losing the whole thing?
Yeah. So are you saying that once you shared it, it's somehow the copy deleted?
Right. I didn't do something correctly, of course.
Oh. So what I usually do is, unless I want people to work on the same flyer as me, I would usually create a copy of it. So I will always have mine as backup. But I think you should be able to retrieve it. I believe there's like a trash, and these days when you accidentally delete things, they really can be recovered within the next day or 30 days. So if it hasn't, at 30 days haven't passed, I think you should be able to retrieve it in your trash, find it some way. I find that Canva, when I'll go into Canva, the way it's organized, it's a little bit, you kind of have to play around because sometimes where you saved things get moved around a little bit. It's not maybe the most, simple way of organizing it. So taking some time to organize that. Any other questions before I move into the next slide?
Well, thank you for that.
You're welcome. All right. So if you don't have a Canva, it's a website we can sign up for. It's canva.com. And there are many ways that you can sign up for an account or create an account. My recommendation, as I put in bold, use your email. I would recommend you, especially if you have a .org, .org, or .edu email address, to use that email address because it's going to be really instrumental for the next part I'm going to introduce. But on Canva, you can also link your Apple account, your Google account, or your Microsoft account if you want to avoid creating, another account, another password. So like I said, I highly recommend signing up with your .org or .edu email accounts, the ones that you probably use professionally and you check 9 to 5 and maybe all hours of the night, mainly because I want to draw your attention to, if you hover over plans on the Canva website, these two areas, education and nonprofits. I think most of us will be eligible for an educator or a nonprofit account. If you are approved for an educator or nonprofit account, you won't have to pay anything for the premium features that I'm going to be showing you. So it makes it a lot easier. I mean, there's also, you know, not so many ads that remind you to pay for a pro account when you do have one of these educator nonprofit accounts. And to sign up, there is like a questionnaire or form on the Canva website. So I lifted this right from the Canva website. It says, whether you're a teacher or a student, it's 100% free for K through 12 teachers and students. I do want to put a little side note there that it's not exactly K through 12 teachers. I know firsthand that there's another organization that serves adults and also have been eligible for an educator's account through this Canva. And whether it's educator or nonprofit that you're trying to apply for, they will require some type of proof. So if you don't think that your organization or program will be eligible for an educator account, I would guess most likely a nonprofit then. The questionnaire will ask like what type of nonprofit work, what type of social justice causes. And with a nonprofit, they'll ask for nonprofit documentation. So in my case, I uploaded our tax exemption form and filled out their questionnaire about what type of organization University Settlement is. And within 2 weeks, I was able to, might have been a little bit longer than 2 weeks, to be honest. Maybe it was probably about like 3 or 4 years ago when I signed up for a nonprofit account, but I was eventually approved. On their website, they said that the approval could take up to 2 weeks, so maybe they've expedited the process since they're getting maybe a lot more people registering for these special premium featured, well, free accounts. I was just wondering, is there anyone here who thinks that they might not be eligible for either educator or nonprofit? Okay, well, I hope that means that after today's presentation, you get your hands in there and sign up your agency or program for one of these free accounts.
Lucian, Cynthia Bell had some good feedback. She said she'd been using a supply line. My contract's budget to pay for the pro. She didn't know about the nonprofit free account. So she's happy to hear about that. And Giovanni says he can't wait to try it.
Oh, great. Well, I'm glad to hear that. So Cynthia, I'll also be able to share, you know, a little bit more, and on the website, you know, I think it's a little bit of a simpler process than before. I remember I took maybe like a day and a half to fill out the questionnaire, but I think that they've definitely simplified it. Cynthia, I see your hand up.
Right. Follow-up question, because while I was thinking about it, I was like, yeah, that's great. I could do that and get the free account. But I noticed that you made sure repeatedly to tell everybody to log in with their .orgs, right? And my account that I've been using for years is not connected to my .org. So if I were to try to get this free account thing, would I need to create like a new account that's connected to my .org nonprofit organization? Or could I continue to use the one that I have like all of my things saved in now and just try to get it connected to, you know, like try to get it through the nonprofit kind of thing? Because that would be a lot of transferring to try and get all that stuff from over there to a new account.
So I would say, not from my experience, so don't quote me on this. I really think that you should be able to go into the nonprofit account even after you sign up with your personal Gmail or, you know, Yahoo accounts, and still fill out the questionnaire. I think the documentation will prove that, that you indeed work for a nonprofit. And I believe it's something that I say this because I've invited, as a teacher on Canva, I've invited staff members using their .org email addresses so that they're able to help and collaborate on certain projects that I've made and asked for their helping hand in. And I noticed that they signed up for Gmail accounts and they're able to get in just fine. So that's an inkling that they might accept it.
Thank you. That would be really great if I wouldn't have to like make a new thing from scratch. So thank you.
Yeah, don't quote me because I don't work for Canva, but that's kind of my experience when I've invited my staff members who don't use their agency account to join my classroom.
And Lucian, Karen asked, do adult educators count with the teacher's account? And you thought it did, we do count, right? Adult educators fit into that, even though it says K-12.
Yes, I think they do count. I copied how it says K through 12 because that's what it says on the Canva website. But from experience, I heard another organization that serves adult learners, adult educators, also have this education account. But in any event, in my case, I actually have a nonprofit account, and the way it's set up, it looks like an educator account.
I have a question. Do you have to show some kind of proof or is it just the .edu email address?
Well, so if it's a nonprofit type, you should show a tax exemption form and some sort of nonprofit documentation. If you're an educator, then they might ask for your employment at an educational institution.
I mean, how do you prove your employment at the institution? Like your ID, or how do you do that?
We can go through the specifics. There's a list of different types. I imagine the pay stub and an accompanying employer name. Yeah. So if you have a pay stub and it has like the educator and that's educational institution and that's your employer, you should be able to use that. But there's also a whole list of documentation that you can see if you can provide to receive that verification of like teacher employment.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so this is what it looks like to sign up for your, when you sign up for your Canva, this is what it looks like when you log in. This is what my account looks like when I log in. And actually I wanna go right, maybe after this, I'll go right into what it looks like when I log in, and I'll switch up the presentation a little bit. But as you can see, you're greeted with this gigantic banner that says search your content or Canvas. Let's see. In my case, you can see that there's presentations listed as one of the possible formats that you could be designing for social media. Again, like Facebook or Instagram are really popular ones. Video, which I've never tried before, or print products. But there is a whole wealth of different formats that you can be designing for. And the difference in a lot of them, it comes down to like the dimensions of the visuals that you're creating. For example, this presentation, as you can see, it's quite of a wide format. If you can see my virtual background, it's also a wider format. But if I'm creating something for social media, and if you know Instagram, it's like the 1-to-1 dimension. So it's a square, and it helps you fit things as you have created them in Canva, and they resize it for you. It might take some tweaking because sometimes it's not exactly perfect in the, but they do make it easy for you to design something and then be able to cross-post it into your different avenues, whether it's presentation, email, like a flyer, like a PDF, or on your social media accounts. So I'd say the first thing, when in designing is, I was just thinking about these guiding questions, like what do you want to design? And I talk about format a lot. When I say format, I really mean like, where are you planning to post this? Where are you planning to share it? And the purpose, is this a themed visual? Are you creating, if you want to create something for your students and wish all the moms in your class a happy Mother's Day? That's what I mean by, what would you like to design? Another guiding question as you think about, opening up Canvas, how do you want to start? Do you want to start by being inspired by one of their many templates, or do you want to just have a blank canvas where you just tell Canva, I'm designing a flyer, and then it would be more of like 8.5 by 11. And then once you get started, whether template or from scratch, you can see how it's real time. You can click, drag, double click, and you can create animations like how I had my first 2 slides. And I'm going to now actually, one thing before I go into show my Canva, I don't want you to be confused if I say design, template, or project. I use them interchangeably, mainly because in Canva, they use design, template, project. For the purpose of this presentation, they mean the same thing, but you'll see these terms over and over again on the Canva website, like project, design, template. But for our function for today, all 3 are almost the same. All right, I'm going to start a new share. Let's see. Can you see my new share? Or should I stop share? Yeah, okay. Great. So, right, this is what it looks like. And I just wanted to make sure again, I am showing my Canva screen, right? Are you no longer in the presentation?
So we see what will you design? Is that what?
Yeah, okay, great. Okay. All right, so this is me logging into my account. As soon as you're greeted with this, what will you design, just as I showed in the screenshot, as I scroll down on my home page, you can see it's this list of recent designs. Canva, whenever you open a new template, it does show up on your recent designs, which can get a little bit unwieldy, to be honest. Anything that I've opened up in the past, like, I don't know, 50 instances, it all shows up here. So a great way to stay organized is, if these are things that are of importance, not something you're just browsing like a template, is to keep them in your projects folder. And my projects folder, you can see, is organized by the Canva PowerPoint, as I thought it was called. I organize things by Instagram posts, Instagram stories, certain projects, like, when we were in the thick of the height of the pandemic, we created holiday cards with our students for each class. So those are things that it's to keep it uncluttered from where you might see in your home a whole list of anything you've ever opened or browsed. And usually the way I use Canva is, for example, I wanted to design something for Mother's Day. So I just type right in here, Mother's Day. Oh, so it's right now searching through my projects that were listed as Mother's Day, but I want to look at templates. And if all I do is just click Mother's Day templates, you can see that these are all pre-made templates that Canva or Canva designers have published for others to use. And like, I wanted to show, like, this is an example of something that would be for an Instagram format, whereas this might be either a flyer or a Facebook post. And something that is very long might be for an Instagram story. And I wanted to show you that, well, this is what I did, let me think, Saturday morning in preparing for our Mother's Day post on our Instagram and Twitter. I did create a Mother's Day post recently. So it's actually, this is the most simple tweaking I did of a design. Let me see if I can show you the original. Oh, yep, there you go. Here you see, this is, again, one of the pre-made templates. All I did was change the really great site because it's kind of like your Laura Ipsum, like the demo text. I moved up the text a little bit and I slapped on our program's logo. And that could be the simplest way you use Canva. I think the best thing about it is that it's up to you and your vision for what you want to put out in the world about your program or your agency. It's up to you to feel, you know, one of these images relates to your students or to your audience. And you can always go back in and then in this case, all I did was move this up a little bit. I changed it to say, oops, friends from. I uploaded our agency logo. Oopsies. Just a little bit. There we go. And that's really all I did. I think sometimes we do agonize over little things like, is this straight? You know, is it really in line with the image? On Canva, there's these grid lines that automatically pop up when you click and you drag it around. If you're really not sure of what the purpose is, you're not sure if this is actually centered, you can click position and you can see it just shifted slightly to the left. All right, so this was pretty much what I did for our Mother's Day post. Let's see. Let me go back to sharing the presentation. Let me try doing this again. New share. All right, can you all see the presentation again?
Yes.
Yeah.
And you got some feedback that that Mother's Day post was really lovely.
Oh, thank you. And you can see all, I mean, you don't have to be extremely artistic. You don't have to be someone who draws really well or has studied in design school to make something that's really visually appealing for your students. You can really just get a sense and again, be inspired that, you know, you can use these templates, they're there for you and you can customize it with the message that you want to, you know, broadcast to your audience. Students, to your teachers, to your funders, or you know, your potential new followers on Instagram. All right, so we have a bit of time now, and I want to give everyone a chance to play with one of the templates and kind of really get in there. But I also wanted to allow time for people to sign up. So I'm going to put a link in the chat. So if you already have Canva, you can just log into your Canva account and go right into editing it. If you don't have a Canva account and you click on the link, it'll prompt you to create an account. So I'm going to put this in the chat. And hopefully you can all see it. And I know that lunch was a while ago, but I hope this doesn't make you super hungry because you didn't have any dessert yet.
It does look good.
And then I'll start a new share so that I can then be in that same screen with you. Let's see. Is everyone able to see the link in the chat?
Yes, we can see it. Hopefully everyone can.
Yeah, so if you click on the link in the chat, please open it up. If you have a Canva account, log in so that you're able to edit. And if you don't have a Canva account, please create one so that you can, you know, get your hands wet and really just jump right in and get a look and feel for for what it's like to tailor something to your your whatever your desires are. So
And Lucian, just to reiterate, so when folks sign up today, they don't have to try to apply for the educator or the organization.
no, they
Or
don't.
they don't choose that right now, they can go ahead and sign up with their email and then later on apply for that to become the nonprofit or educator version, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's not super important. And I can see on my screen, there's a Noemia. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing it, Noemia.
No, you got it perfect.
Great. Kelly's also here. And as more people join me, I can see their names pop up on the top border here in the initials. So this is my first page, a template. So just for fun, what's this dish name? And this is something that I've done before so a lot of our students follow our Instagram, and they follow our Instagram because every day they'll find something that is language focused. So it could be something as simple, guess this word, and here's an image that represents it. But I want for everyone to be able to see the template and to personalize it themselves. So for example, maybe I'll just give everyone a minute before I move on.
We might have to troubleshoot a tiny bit. Karen says she received an error message when she tried to sign up with her district email.
Oh, okay. Is the error message saying that it's already a registered educational institution? And if they're having that trouble, I would say I recommend using your personal email address. Yeah, and I'll put the link in the chat here again.
Okay. Oh, it's saying she should check, or no, Danielle says it's saying I should check my internet connection. Okay.
Try to make a password and enter a code.
Okay, 3 of our participants are getting error messages.
Oh no. Let me try.
I did just sign up today. It did work for me, but I'm wondering what's happening for others.
Yeah.
Check my internet connection.
All right, while we're on the screen, let me try to go in private mode and see if that would help. Okay. So this is what you should see when you click on the link. And right now on the screen, I'm not logged in. So if you're seeing this screen and you click edit design, should tell you, you should choose continue with email address. I mean, because I don't recommend continuing with Google or Facebook.
Danielle's making progress. It's working better, almost there.
Okay, great.
Karen, I tried again with my Google account and it assigned me a password and was just going to send a code. Yep, Karen, that happened to me too. I had to put the code in and then it started working just fine.
All right, great.
Oh, but she says she's going to just watch. But Karen, if you have time to check your email, you would just copy and paste that code in and then you should be able to move forward.
All right, so whoever is in, and I'm gonna go check this list. So Alicia, I'm going to assign you a page so you can work on, well, let me demo it before I assign pages. So the way I have it, so this is the template, the untouched, unedited copy. It says, what's this dish's name? For example, let's say Lucienne, this doesn't really resonate with me. I mean, I love a New York style cheesecake, but right now I'm in the mood for, does everybody know egg tarts? well, I'm in the mood for an egg tart for dessert. And that's something I want to customize for my audience. But now all I did was I went into Elements. I searched for what it was that I wanted to replace it with. I wanted to replace this cheesecake image with an egg tart. And then I looked for an image that looked just delectable. I hope you can see my mouse. I really just clicked and I dragged it into this frame, and it previewed how it would look when I let go. And I see that, oh, this image is a little bit off center. I want to move it up a little bit. I double clicked on the image, and I now was given this option to crop or adjust, like, the viewfinder. Now, as you can see, the bottom, it was for that cheesecake original, that original cheesecake template. And all I need to change it because, of course, it's a different word. So I can go back and change. And I'm using my mouse to select and putting a box over all the areas I want to change. Okay. And this is an egg tart. So I'm going to give my students a hint and say, it begins with an E. Oops. Ooh, okay. So this is the problem with it not being zoomed in enough. It's hard to see what I'm selecting. All right, there we are. There's an E. An egg has 3 letters, so I'm gonna get rid of this. Oh, and the A is already in a perfect spot. So now here I have pretty much, I could do a little bit more with this, but I've personalized it by changing the image, changing the clue, and I can, again, I have my logo already uploaded onto Canva. So it makes it really easy for me to, again, like just drag and slap my program's logo on anything I'm creating. And now I'm asking for everyone, I'm going to zoom out again a little bit. And I see there's quite a few people on page 1. Here are some other ones that Kelly and I have experimented with on our practice sessions. Like page 4, you can see it's a slice of pizza, or it's a pizza pie. And let's try to, I'll assign different pages so everyone can work on a different page and show how they would edit this template themselves. So you can change the color. For example, if I go back here to my I can go back and I can select the whole background. I can change the color. I don't like this cream color. I like it to be green. Oh, that's probably not the most appealing. I'd like to make it gray. You can edit the image, which I showed you. You can go into Elements and just use the search bar and just type in what type of other food or anything at all. You don't have to make this food related, but it's always fun too. You can crop, flip the image. You can even animate it. I don't know if anyone caught that, but pop. When it comes to text, which is what I did here, I clicked on the box and I double clicked on E, and you can change this to any other letter. If I wanted to, for example, change this to a G, because I didn't want to give my students such an easy clue, I just moved the text box over where it was an E to where the G would fit, and then I just typed G and replaced it. So play around with it. There's a lot of different features, and I want to assign everyone pages so that we all don't like work on everyone's page. So actually I see V, Noemia, and so I go ahead and go for page 3. Let's see, I see Sarah Santa Maria, page 8, perfect. Who else do I have on here? Alicia, how about I give you page 9? And so that'll be for you to work on. Feel free and edit your heart's content. Who else am I seeing here? Who hasn't been assigned? L, what does L stand for? Is it Laura? Lauren? So
Yep,
Lauren,
that's me.
you have page 11. So
Okay.
anybody else want to join me? I see that the screen there is Alicia, Sarah, Lauren, Kelly, me, Noemia.
Can I take page 4? It's Kelly.
Oh yeah, go for it. Yeah, so I'm giving people, if you don't have Canva now, go ahead and sign up for it and then go back and click the link in the chat after you've signed up so you can join me on this page and you can go and edit this template and get a feel for how you can change the color, the image, the text, and see how you can handle and manipulate the different images on there. And I'm right now using a grid view. So I have like a bird's eye view of like this beautiful background that Kelly's doing. Meanwhile, I can see that Noemia changed an image to another favorite dessert of mine. So it's a great way to see how everyone's working on their own page, but as a teacher, you can see where everyone's at. I'll label this one my name. Okay. So Danielle, I see your message. You're able to sign up for Canva, but can't seem to connect to the link. So I put the link in there again. Oh, Giovanna. Okay, I see you there. Giovanni, sorry. Giovanni, I see you. I'm going to give you page 10. Wonderful. And Danielle, could you try so with that same browser, if you're able to sign up and you have an account now, try clicking the link that I put in the chat again.
I have a question.
Mhm.
I don't see the text.
Oh, what page are you on, by the way? Oh, you're on, oh, I see. You're page 9, Alicia. So I'm gonna go in and join you on that page. So you're saying you don't see the text? Alicia, are you saying you can't see the page? or the
Right, no,
text.
right, it's, okay, it says, what's this dish? So how do I put the H in the E for cheesecake?
Oh, okay. So in this exercise, you want to give your students the answer, or do you want to change like what letter clues? Which would you like to do?
Oh, I was trying to answer the question.
Oh, okay. Or you could change it, you could change the order of the clues. If you don't want to give
Okay.
them a C
Right.
to start them off, you can try to change that, move it to an H perhaps.
Okay, so how do I add the H?
So the easiest way, I would tell you, click on the C and make sure that you're selecting the text for the C. So like here, you can see my screen.
Yeah. So how did you do that? You double clicked?
I just clicked on it once to select it.
Okay, can I try?
Yep.
It's not doing anything.
No, with your mouse, you,
Mm-mm.
That's strange. Do you see where I can select a C?
Yes, I see that.
Oh,
I
you
see, yeah.
Okay, could you, so, not quite sure. And you're on a computer, right, with a mouse?
I got the mouse, yeah.
Oh,
But
okay.
anyway, I've used Canva before, so I guess I could, who knows why.
If you double click on it, if anyone's still looking at my screen share, I double clicked on the C, and you can see it selected the text. So I can go ahead and change that to an H. But as you see now that I changed it to an H, it's in the wrong spot. So I'll move it this way. Alicia, can you see me working on your same page?
Yes, I do.
Oh, and I see Danielle join. And Danielle, can I give you a page where you can work on? Let's see. I'm going to assign you page 12. And if you want to change this to, something animal themed, for example, you can go ahead and do that and say, what's the name of this animal? Do something entirely different. But the template is there, the options are there. I think the important thing to gain from this demonstration is to get a feel for how things move around on the page, what you'll be able to change. Some things are a little bit harder than others, like handling text. It definitely takes, for me, personally, zooming right in there to make sure that I'm selecting the right element. Okay. And Kelly, how much more time do you think I should give people for this demo? Because I have another one just to show, and I can also share in the chat if we don't have time for it.
All right. Let's see, it's 4:23, so we've got probably about 20 minutes left.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anyone who's right in the middle of working on it and wants to keep working? Otherwise, I know for me, I was able to get in and I'm able to practice a bit, but some folks had just gotten in. Giovanni, how about Giovanni? He got in a little bit later. How are you doing with it? Would you be ready to move on, or you want some more time?
Oh, and I see Danielle. Well, I want to maybe I should give Danielle and Giovanni a bit more time.
So I think I was able to do a few edits on mine. So I got a feel for how.
Oh, great. And I also see
go.
that you filled out like the entire clue.
I did.
Is Giovanni page 3?
Page
Page
10.
10.
Oh, page 10. Whoever's page 3, nice job with tiramisu. That is beautiful. Page 10.
Wow, and you've got like
Oh,
the crinkle
nice.
background.
Cool. Oh yeah, Giovanni, page 10. Very cool.
And Kelly, I love I don't know if you meant for it to be this way, but it looks like a Valentine's Day chocolate cake.
Yes, that's what I was going for. I've been playing with chocolates since you started this this example, and I can't stop changing chocolate pictures. Their art is really beautiful. Their pictures are lovely.
Yeah. So I'm gonna do something, and I'll go into Giovanni's page. Oops, I want to zoom all the way in. And wow, what a nice cake. And I can also comment. I mean, this is an opportunity. If you have staff members that you're working together on something, or if they're asking for feedback, you can right click on the entire page and comment and say like, oops, what happened? I can say like,
Are you commenting on Danielle's page 12?
I commented on Giovanni.
Oh, okay.
I think I saw some s'mores somewhere.
Yes, that's what I was looking at. Danielle's.
I think I'll give people just like 2 more minutes. And hopefully that'll be enough time for you to kind of get a sense of like, how, you would use a template. You can think about if this is something you want to just get students thinking. I mean, for us, it's kind of like a one-off, like mini practice for our students. Like, oh, like exactly, like what's the origin of this dish? NYACCE. So like you can also change the language. What's the holiday's name? as Kelly made her page.
There are a couple of folks who said they're getting very hungry or that want cheesecake right now. And then Sarah did try to work on it using her phone. She said it was a little bit finicky being on the Zoom meeting and on the Canva on her phone, so she's going to observe.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, it's nice that there is the capability to join on your phone on Canva. And I'll talk a little bit about that in the end. But I feel the same way. It is a bit finicky to be able to like manipulate these images, especially text on a smaller device. As you can see, I needed a zoom right in there to make sure that I was selecting the right element.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I'm going to go right back. I'm going to look and do a review of these pages that we worked on. So I see, sorry, oh yeah, so Sarah, I remember, I see that maybe you wanted to change it to like a different dish entirely, maybe a bowl of ice cream. The second page, which I demoed for you, how I changed the picture and also moved the text around and changed the background. NYACCE, great job. Also choosing a dessert I really love, tiramisu. And again, she didn't change the color of the background. She actually changed the background into a different image. And she also, these little sandwiches that were in the background, she personalized it and even added a nice layer cake, which I think is a tiramisu on the side. And Kelly, she changed the topic entirely. What's the holiday's name? And you see hearts and a box of chocolates. Wonder what holiday it is. These were some of the demo pages. So we selected if we were to change it to salad and sushi. This is actually you can also add animations instead of photos. You see this very romantic pan over the cheesecake. All right, and I see Alicia. So, I think you're giving your students some clues, but they're quite hidden in like invisible ink.
Something like that.
And Giovanni, I like how you just really made the colors pop, and you also changed, not a question, but just a comment. What a nice cake. Lauren changed it. What is this called? And again, this is something that you can use in the classroom. Oh, we did a activity the day before talking about things around the kitchen. To start right off, if you did your homework, the vocabulary word, you should know what this is called. And Danielle, I see some nice summertime food like camping over an open fire and some s'mores. All right, so I'm going to bring us back and continue with our presentation. And I think if I have time, I'll share some more templates that maybe you'll like to be able to play on your own with your own time after the presentation. I'm going to start a new share again. All right. Can we all see my screen?
Yes, experiment with your designs.
Okay, excellent. Thank you, Kelly.
Yep.
All right, so as you can see, it makes it easy for people to join the same project as you. If you have something designed, you can, in my case, I wanted everyone to join our project of, this cheesecake project. And I duplicated a page and I assigned everyone a different page so they could work on, one themselves without changing too much of like the original. If everyone stays on their own page, then I guess that works. Another way to do it is, like I alluded to earlier, with this project, if I don't want anyone to work on the same project as me at the same time, because I'm afraid that things might get, with so many hands in the project, things can get moved around. I would make a copy. I would make a copy of the project and then send people a link to just the copy so that they don't have to worry about, messing something up, making the formatting like all out of line. The easiest way to do it is that when you click on the top screen, the top of the window, and I usually use Canva on the website, so canva.com, but I'll talk about, the other ways that you can use this design tool. You click share and you can do one of two things. You can add people's names, their email address. If names would work if you've already added them or invited them to a project before, so Canva remembers that you are a member or you are an invited person to edit. The way I did today is I changed the link and I opened it to anyone with the link can edit. And then I just click copy link and then I pasted it in the chat. So like I said, two ways to share. So you can add people by email, or if you've invited them previously, their names might show up on a drop-down menu as it has like a history of, people you've invited to the project to collaborate with. You can also do the link sharing, like I mentioned, which is right here, right underneath the ability to add people by email. Just like with anything like Google Sheets, Google Docs, you should always, pay special attention to what type of permissions this person who has a link or you're sharing the file has ability to do. In most of my cases, unless it's like a presentation, I would say like, okay, all the links are for view because I don't want anyone to tweak my presentation while I'm still working on it. But in a lot of cases where I'm creating a flyer and I want it to be translated into multilingual formats, I'll make a copy and I will share that link, and then I will make sure that the permissions are for the person that I'm inviting this project to be able to edit freely. In most cases, if it's something that I've pretty much set, like I want the template to stay the same, they're only changing the text. So once you're done, you can, once you're finalized, you've finalized your design, you can download it as an image. So with that project where you guess the word, if the word is cheesecake, if it's just an image that you want to share with others, you can select JPEG or PNG. From my experience, PDFs are usually things that are emailed. They're not really commonly shared via like text messaging apps or anything like that. A PDF is definitely beneficial if you are creating a document that has hyperlinks. For example, the times I've designed a flyer and I wanted to publish it, it included links to our other accounts like our YouTube and our Twitter and our University Settlement page. Because I'm sharing it with other partners or providers in adult ed, I want them to be able to click on them. And those are the instances in which I would share it and download it as a PDF. If you created a design that has animations, you'll want to do one of two things, either download it as a GIF or an MP4 video for those videos or animations to carry through. And after that, after you've downloaded it in your preferred format, share it with whomever you want. So your world, whether it's small, like from one email to another, or from, to everyone on your like 1,000 followers, like Facebook page. It's there for you, and on Canva, you can edit it to your audience and where you're planning to share it. So these are just really the main points when using Canva, is that, when you log in and you get to the home page, it could look a bit daunting how many things that you might have listed under your recent designs, because it opens your ongoing projects, things that you're working on to tailor to your next material that you're creating, or anything you've just opened. You've browsed a template and you wanted to get a closer look. It'll still show up on your recent designs. So I would recommend the things you want to save, make sure to stay organized and create folders and title your projects appropriately. A lot of the pre-made templates are named like descriptively, such as like blue and white Mother's Day Instagram post. But if you want this Mother's Day post to be shared with just students, then maybe you just want to say students Google Classroom announcement for Mother's Day or something like that. And another thing about your projects is, again, organizing them, putting them in a folder, make copies and share them with others. When you share them, it gives another person the ability to collaborate and help use their strengths. And if it's like language skills or design skills, or even the strength of, giving critical feedback, that capability is there when you share. And don't forget to download your image, especially if it's a visual you want to save. I believe it was Sarah who said that she was working on her phone when she was trying to join the Zoom and also open Canva on her mobile device. So I'd say, from experience, I've used Canva on my phone, on my Android and like my iPhone. And it's a really, really polished Canva app to design on. And a lot of times, I'll be in the middle of working on a project or design. But I gotta close out my computer. I'm usually one that designs on a computer. And I was like, all right, I gotta close up. I gotta go pick up my baby from daycare. And I want to continue on the train. So while I'm commuting, I will open up Canva and continue designing on my smartphone. I would say it's great that it's available, but nothing beats designing on a larger device, like a computer. And so, it's a great way, and it's great for you to browse and, think about what the next design you'll create on Canva is. But again, I constantly run into issues making edits on a really small screen. And I don't think that that's, something that's a problem with Canva. It's just working on a small screen. All right. So this is really, today was more of like a fundamentals and like a walkthrough of what it's like to dive right into Canva and to play around and really experiment, like get your hands dirty and just know that you can't break it is what I like to remind you when working Canva. The templates will always be there. You'll always find some way to retrieve it. And if not, I'm sure that there's support to help. But if you want to learn more about how to design, Canva has their own tutorials and courses on how to design. They also have, fundamentals on how to just use video and design video in your next design. And let's see, I think I'll open up to a new screen and show.
Yep, it changed. So now we see a white background that says learn.
Yeah, okay, great, thank you. So this is Canva/Learn, and here you can get there are a lot of articles on design, but let me see if I can find one that's just for teachers. So if you go to Canva for Education under Learn, there are short videos that you can watch on how to do things like maybe you have a classroom where you want to design the school rules, which I'll send a template for. It'll talk about how, as a teacher, you could use Canva to create visuals to establish your class expectations. It also has how to create a next infographic, which I think Cynthia said that she already has experience of designing an infographic. So there is a whole menu of different tutorials that Canva has just for teachers. To be honest, this is really where I browse. I don't browse, even though I have a nonprofit account, I don't really look at so much of like the tutorials for nonprofit because it's more geared towards like my communications and fundraising department. But I think Canva for Education is definitely something like I can really benefit from, even as a program director and trying to like recruit new students and really highlight the work of our program. So I think for today, if you plan on signing up for Canva as an educator or a nonprofit organization, there'll be that waiting period until you get approved. Meanwhile, you can certainly join the Facebook community that they have. There are, as you can see, the last time I screen grabbed it, over 46,000 members on there of teachers. It is a great resource where people go on to just ask for, a little bit of help. A lot of teachers are also there to share something they're proud of, like a worksheet that that students have really thought that they went really well. It's also the ability to network and connect with other teachers. If you have something, you might even ask teachers, do you have a worksheet on like subject-verb agreement or present perfect tense? There might be a teacher up there that'll say like, oh, I didn't create this, but I use this in my class, and they'll again share a link like I'm doing in the chat for them, for other members to go in and customize for your own lessons. And I think the other thing that's key is that they regularly have live Zoom meetings, tutorials. So you can learn all the bells and whistles. Today's presentation really gives you the basics. I'm glad that a lot of people already have experience, but if you join the Facebook community, you can really grow your skills that way. And there's a lot of teachers on there because, of course, the teachers community.
This is fantastic. Thank you. Wow.
And so if you are interested, you can have, my presentation and view it. You can scan what we have here, our QR code. I'm also going to put it in the chat shortly, so you can go back and review any of the slides. If you want to see what I create on Canva for my students or for other community partners, you can find that we're on WordPress, on Facebook, on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. And I would say we're probably the most active on our WordPress, Facebook, and Instagram, and then Twitter during our advocacy season, and our YouTube when we, I guess, fitfully decide to create a video about our program. But I'm going to quickly share my contact information too. And don't know, I feel like, I think, are we 1 minute over time? But I'm here if anyone has any questions.
So it is 4:46, so we can close officially. I know it's the end of the day, so folks might want to get going. But if you do want to stay on for a minute, Lucian, if others have questions, that's great. I just want to remind everyone that a survey will come up. It just takes 30 seconds to fill out. So when you click off, if you could take time to fill out that survey, it'd be wonderful. Okay, no, Giovanni.
Oh, you're very welcome. You're welcome, Giovanni. And I know Amia, Lauren. And I'm going to put my email in the chat if it's helpful for anyone. I'm Lucian Leung. I'm L as in Lucian and Leung, my whole last name, Leung at universitysettlement.org. I hope all of you get some dessert. It seems like we all skip dessert after our lunch break.